Welcome back to our Python learning series. In this video, we'll finally learn how to get user input. This is a crucial skill for any Python developer and makes your programs more dynamic and personalized. This session is part of a Python learning series where we start from zero setting up your machine to working with Python code. So feel free to watch from the start. In this session, we'll have lots of exercises to help you master the concept. In the end, you'll be able to know how to get user input and be able to interact with users. Let's begin. Now we're adding one more function to your current arsenal. It's the input function. It works like this. When we declare a variable, on the right side, we put the function in instead. Then, in the function's parentheses, we write the prompt. This is what we want the user to see that guides them on what type of data to provide. It could be something like, write your name here, or what is your birth year? Take note that it will print the prompt as is, so it's good to provide some empty space right after the prompt like this. So instead of supplying a value to the variable, like how we've been doing, now we're telling the program to pause and wait for user input. It's important to note that whatever value is captured has a string data type. This means even if the user supplied values like 13, 5.0, or false, it will all still be considered a string data type. Let's confirm here using the type function. We can see that its data type is string. And this is where typecasting comes in handy. If you haven't learned typecasting yet, we already made a video on it. Learn more about it there. Now let's try using the input function with 4 exercises. Let's start with a simple one. Let's try getting the user's name and print out the name back with a greeting after getting the input. Pause the video here if you want to try it yourself first. Now here's the answer. To do what we want, let's start by declaring a name variable. Instead of putting a value in, we put in input. Then we write a message to let the user know what kind of data to type in. Then we plug in the string value using string concatenation like this and put it in a variable called greeting. Then we simply print greeting. Easy. On to another one. Now I want to get the user's age, and depending on the user input, I want the program to print true if it is over 18, and false if the number entered is under 18. This is slightly more difficult, but achievable. Remember typecasting and comparison operators like greater than and less than. Pause the video and try it yourself first. Here's a possible answer. We need to ask the user for their age, so I initialize an age variable with the input function. I make sure to write a clear prompt. I then simply print the results of the comparison operator to answer whether the age entered is over or under 18. By default, this outputs a boolean. Age is greater than 18. I make sure that age is typecast to integer, since the age variable has a string data type. Tricky, but fairly straightforward. Now let's try another. How will it look like if I want to ask 2 values and print the sum of both numbers? We need 2 values from the user, and then the output string should be the operation and the sum. like 3 plus 4 equals 7, if the two values entered were 3 and 4. Now pause the video and try doing it on your own first. Ready to hear the answer? Here's a possible one. We initialized num1 with the input function, then we initialize another variable, which I named num2. We can initialize a third variable named sum with the added values of both. Don't forget, of course, to typecast the values for the addition operation to work, as we would expect. Then you can see we can just concatenate the string values to the format num1 plus num2 equals sum. It seems tricky, but it's quite easy, isn't it? Now for a challenge. What if I also want to get the values from subtraction, multiplication, and division? I want all the values to be printed after the program gets two values from the user. Pause here if you want to try it yourself. Now here's a possible answer. We just initialize more values to get the difference, product, and quotient. For this example, it may be better to typecast beforehand so that we don't have to keep typecasting when we do each operation, resulting in cleaner code. We then simply print all of the values like this. It's basically just a longer version of the third exercise. Did you get them all? Alright. If you enjoyed learning how to gather user input from this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to put them down below. There's more Python coming your way, so give the channel a subscribe to know when the next one drops. Until then,